Today we are going to make a fantastic NFC Tag Magic 8 Ball, so let's get cracking. Step one, of course, is to visit Tinkercad.com. It is 100% free and the absolute easiest place to learn computer-aided design. We're going to start today by simply hitting Create New 3D Design. I always like to start by naming it. We are going to call this one 8 Ball, and I'm going to put NFC after it because we're going to insert an NFC tag. Now, if you've never used Tinkercad before, I've got a ton of day one tutorials. You can track them down with this bit.ly right here. Today's project is going to start with Sketch Revolve. When you bring this out, notice it fits exactly in a 20 by 20 grid. If you've never checked out Sketch before, I highly recommend you've taken a peek at the Sketch features. This is where you'll find what's new, and there are several techniques that will make you much more effective as a Tinkercad designer. When you're done learning and watching the videos, you can simply hit the X to back out. If you prefer my tutorials, I've got a full playlist that you can track down with this bit.ly right here. When you draw in Sketch, we can use straight lines, Bezier curves, or smooth curves. Today, we're going to simply draw a straight line. You can hold down Shift to make this a little easier. We're going to make it 17 millimeters long. Click and let go. Hit Escape to finish it. We're going to go down to the settings, and we're going to make the width 3 and press Enter. And then we're also going to round it off by simply adding the round cap. This gives us an awesome shape that we're going to be able to use for our 8 ball NFC tag. Now you'll notice this is below 0. We're going to simply hit D to drop it to the work plane. Then we're going to use this same part to hollow it out. Do Control D. Set the new one to be a hole. We're going to simply choose Edit Sketch. Double click on the line. We're going to just nudge this line back to 13. We are also going to click on its stroke, and we're going to set it to 1.5 and press Enter. This leaves us 1.5 millimeters on the top and the bottom. We can simply then hit Finish Sketch. Real quickly, I'm going to hit T for transparent so you can see inside there. And what we want to do is nudge the one underneath back. We're going to put a keychain hole up here. Let's actually align this first. We're going to do Shift Squeeze on this whole cylinder, and we're going to type number 5 and press Enter. I'm going to grab these shapes right here, do L for Align. I want to pick the green one as the boss, and we want to do center. We're going to do top. I'm going to now click on that hole, and I'm going to move it in 2 millimeters. Now, if we look closely, you can see there are several millimeters back here to play with, so I'm going to hide this. We're going to click on our hole, and we're going to just nudge it back till they're not touching. When we do Show All, you can see that this is going to work perfect. We have got room for the hole, and we've got our sticker location already marked. Let's grab all these and do Control G to Union Group. That allows you to see where our sticker will sit in a bit. Let's quickly make one more mod. I'm going to double click, make sure I've got the green one, and I'm going to maximize the sides. When we click outside, that finishes the edit. And then I'm going to hit T so it goes back to being a solid. Notice it does take 3 taps to get through the different transparency options. We're going to add text with a fancy text under your creations. I've given you guys these fonts. If you haven't seen the tutorials, please check the bit.ly up here. There are so many that we can add. It makes things a lot of fun. And because they're your creations, they're always available once you make them. Simply hit Ungroup and then change the words. This one's going to be Magic. Once it snaps, I'm going to put it on top. W for work plane, D for drop. Bring it into place, and I'm going to Shift Squeeze to get it to the size that I think is going to fit. Yours may be different if you change your numbers. Then I'm going to do Control D, Shift Nudge, get that gap right, and I'm going to make this one say 8 ball. And press Enter. I'm going to also put the words NFC underneath this. Let's do Control D to duplicate, Shift Nudge to move that away, and I'm going to type the letters NFC so people know it's an NFC tag. I want these on top to be 1 millimeter high, so let's click on those and change them to 1 and press Enter. I want this one underneath to be 0.5 millimeter high, so I'm going to type 0.5 and press Enter. I do want this to be a hole. I'm going to cut it in. I'm going to stretch it a little larger because it can be. Let's put the work plane back down and let's do D to drop so our part is on the bottom. Finally, we need to flip it because once again, it's going to be under the part. So that's how NFC should look. These two are already aligned, so I'm going to shift select them and make them a bundle group. Control B is bundle. Now I can grab all of these parts, do L for align, click the green one, and we want to do center and center. Notice Magic 8 Ball runs into the hole. We can just nudge it down to the spot that we think is perfect. Bang! Project completed. Let's do Control G to union group those together. You can see how NFC is cut in there nice and nifty. And let's export the part for 3D printing. I'm going to save it as an STL. My 3D modeling folder, it already has the name, and we can simply save the changes. Now we can bounce to Prusa Slicer. Let's add that file. Once again, 8 Ball NFC, it already had the name. I'm going to use the 0.2 speed settings, once again with the Core 1 Plus. If we take a moment to hit Slice Now, we can see that the project's going to take about 7 minutes. So here's where we need to make some important modifications. Once we've got that first slicing done, I am moving this down and I'm going to go to the 2mm mark. You can see that's got the opening where we can set our sticker. I'm going to right click on this and I want to add a pause. I'm going to simply pause the print. Instead of the bearings, I'm going to do NFC sticker in that spot and click OK. Now I want to slide back up to where the 8 Ball starts. Notice there's 3 and 3.2. I'm going to do a color change right here. Remember, right click, add a color change. And that way we'll have a 2-color Magic 8 Ball. Now I can simply hit Slice Now, and I'm going to send it to Prusa Connect. I have got it all cleared and set for printing, so let's hit confirm and get this party started. All right, so let's program our NFC tag. You'll need to add NFC tools. You'll need to buy some NFC stickers. I've got these on Amazon. There is a link in the description. We're going to choose add a record. I'm going to add a piece of text. I'm going to enter my text. Ask the 8 Ball a question. Hit the check mark. And then I'm going to add another record, and this is going to be the amazing URL. All right, so I've built this for you so you can just use it. If you type bit.ly/, and then it's going to be called HL, the number 8, and the text BALL. This is a tiny bit of code that gives us a Magic 8. Now we can simply tear the sticker off that we're going to use, bring it close to our phone, and choose write. Bang. It is scanned. Now I do want to test it. Notice if we go to that tag, it gives us the little bit of code and says the Magic 8 Ball degrees. It's not in the cards. If you click it again, bank on it. You've got a ton of different choices. You can use it again and again, and it's just a ton of fun. Once again, a simple NFC tag that you can click and go to. With it programmed, I'm going to back out of here. Let's go back to the NFC tag tool. And under other, we are going to lock that tag. Since we know it works, we want to make it so that other users can't modify it. I hit lock. Bang. It is locked. Now this will always stay as the Magic 8 Ball. All right, so while we were doing that, the printer has started working. I'm going to speed this up and let's get to the cool stuff. All right, so the system has paused. We can open it up. Head is parked in a safe location. Simply peel off our sticker. Set it inside. Close it up. And let's continue. Oops, I do not want to do that. We're going to say no, and we're going to resume. Once again with a bit of a speed boost until we get to the pause for the color change. All right, so this is the filament unload. The current filament is already ready to be pulled out. Machine's beeping to let me know. Because it's a Magic 8 Ball, we're going to do the writing in white. Simply feed the filament in. And once the filament's in, we can hit yes and continue. Let's accelerate the speed here, going from the black to the white purge. And we can simply hit yes. And after a moment, our print continues. Easy peasy, multiple colors. All right, so time for the fun part. Now we can simply make our question. I'm going to say, are you loving your Core 1 Plus? Let's bring it together. There's my NFC tag. And the Magic 8 Ball says, cannot predict right now. I'm going to say, though, I am absolutely loving the Core 1 Plus. If you want a different result, you can hit Shake Me and get as many as you want. Boom. How cool is that? Let's tidy things up just a little bit. Of course, the first thing I want you to know, these NFC tags, you can find them on Amazon. There is a link in the description. I've got 3 different NFC videos right now. You can check those up above as well. This, of course, was totally fun, and I gave you the code. If you're interested in learning about how I did the code, it was simply a Google Gemini question where I said, hey, how can I turn this into a cute little website? It essentially created all the code, and I just posted it in a code pen, and that's where it's hosted. It's super slick. Of course, if you'd like to see a tutorial about that, make sure you ask in the comments. Also, if you have a cool idea for how to put an NFC tag to use, I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. I do want to quickly say thank you to everybody that supports me via YouTube memberships. Don't forget there are 3 levels of support starting as low as $5 a month. With any level of support, you get early access to videos. Make sure you also pay attention for those members only post. A massive shout out as well to everybody that supports me via Patreon. Love how that group is growing. We're way past 600 members. Of course, there's a fantastic messaging area. You can ask questions, post designs, gain skills. Of course, you can learn more with the bit.ly up above or the link in the description. Finally, friends, I want to thank you for watching. Don't forget, every time you like, hype, share a video, add a comment down below, or click subscribe. You're helping HLModTech get just a little bigger, which absolutely makes my day. Friends, have a glorious day, and keep tinkering.